Bernard Okojie was born into abundance, private hospitals, nannies from abroad, the best international schools. But all his life, people noticed only one thing. You're too big. At age 10, he weighed as much as most grown men. Kids pointed. Parents whispered. Teachers watched him struggle to breathe after climbing stairs. His mother died when he was 13 from heart failure. His father, Chief Okojie, buried his grief in business and left Bernard in the hands of staff. Lonely, hungry for affection, Bernard turned to food for comfort. Birthday parties were never about friends, they were about gifts. In high school, girls avoided him like the plague. At university, he had his first kiss with someone who was paid to make it happen at a party. By the time he was 28, Bernard inherited his father's multimillionaire empire, hotels, oil, logistics. He became the most eligible bachelor in Lagos, on paper. In reality, he was a billionaire in a big body, with a bleeding heart. Bernard believed in love. Deeply. He read poetry at night. Wrote anonymous donations to struggling couples. He craved not the love that looked good in photos, but the kind that saw your scars and stayed anyway. Then came Mira. She worked at a luxury perfume shop. Sharp tongue. Deadly beauty. Everyone warned him she was strategic. But Bernard saw something different, kindness in her voice, the way she complimented his eyes instead of his weight. They dated for 8 months. Bernard took her to Ghana, Rwanda, and Turkey. He bought her a boutique. When she said she loved him, he believed her. Until the day he overheard her at her birthday party. She thought he was asleep upstairs, but his heart had been racing. He was planning to propose that night. From the hallway, he heard her on a call, laughing. Please. That man. If he wasn't rich, would I even look at him? He smells like sweat and pity. Bernard collapsed into a chair in the hallway. He didn't confront her. Instead, he left silently, left her boutique unsigned, and blocked her on everything. And just like that, another piece of his heart turned to stone. For months, Bernard vanished from public view. No parties. No social media. He attended business meetings in silence, hiding behind assistants and layers of loose clothing. He started a weight loss journey, not because he wanted to, but because society told him that love was reserved for slim waist and gym selfies. He lost some weight, gained more back, and lost the will to try again. Then one evening, while returning from an anonymous charity visit in a nearby village, his SUV broke down near the outskirts. His driver waved down a local woman walking by. Mira was unlike anyone Bernard had ever met. She was a tailor, walking home with a bag of fabric and a phone that barely worked. She didn't ask who he was. She didn't flinch when she saw his body or driver or the expensive car. Instead, she smiled and said, "This heat is wicked. You people with AC cars don't understand." Bernard chuckled, a real laugh, the first in months. While they waited, she offered him roasted corn and a cold sachet of water. She sat beside him on a rock and asked about his work. He lied and said he was a logistics assistant. "You look tired," she said. "I'm just having a long day." "Or a long life," she added gently. "It's okay. Everyone's carrying something." That sentence sank into his soul. Over the next few days, Bernard found reasons to return. First, it was to say thank you. Then to fix a torn shirt. Then just to see her smile again. Mira's shop was tiny but colorful. She played old fella tunes and danced when she sewed. Her jokes were sharp. Her heart even sharper. She didn't ask for help. She didn't brag. She didn't flatter. One afternoon, he asked, "What do you think when you see a man like me?" She looked him up and down and said, "I think you carry yourself with grace. That's rare these days." No woman had ever said that to him. Bernard was falling fast. But he didn't want another Amora, someone who loved what he had, not who he was. So he hid his wealth, dressed down, and came alone each time. When Mira's landlord tried to double her rent, Bernard anonymously paid it for a year. When her brother got injured, his hospital bill disappeared. Still, she never asked questions. One day, Mira gave him a shirt she sewed by hand. "It's big, roomy. I made it because I thought maybe you'd feel good in something made just for you." Tears rolled down Bernard's cheek. 6 months into their friendship, Bernard invited Mira to a dinner at his actual home. She walked into a mansion with marble floors and art worth millions. Confused, she asked, "Whose house is this?" He took a deep breath and said, "Mira, I am Bernard Okojie, the CEO, the founder of the charity you help, the one who paid your rent. I didn't lie to hurt you. I've been used too many times. I needed to know you saw me." Mira said nothing for a long moment. Then she looked into his eyes, just as she had the first day. "All this time, I thought you were hiding from your past. But now I see, you were afraid love only lived in your wallet. But Bernard, I've only ever loved your heart." When they made their relationship public, the online world exploded. Why is she with him? Must be the money. She'll leave after inheritance. Mira ignored the hate. But Bernard spiraled. The trauma resurfaced. "Maybe they're right," he whispered one night. "Then let me remind you," Mira said. "When you were broken, I held you. When you lied, I forgave. And when you showed me the real you, I stayed." "Bernard, this word is loud. But my love is louder." They married quietly. No tabloids. No influencers. Mira wore a dress she sewed herself. Bernard wore the first outfit he felt proud in. Together, they founded the Bigger Than Body Foundation for children facing bullying, body shaming, and self-esteem issues across Africa. Bernard lost some weight. Not because he wanted to fit in, but because he started to believe he was worth caring for. And Mira, she never tried to change him. She just stood beside him and let him become the man he was always meant to be. We live in a world obsessed with appearances. But the deeper scars are the ones no one sees. Bernard Okojie spent his life thinking he had to shrink to be worthy of love. But love, real love, isn't about fitting into a size. It's about someone looking at you and saying, "You're enough as you are."